welcome on the newest adventure. I am currently on my way to Sanger, Texas to go to Jake's Performance, which is Jake Shoemake's shop. So Jake, for those that you don't know, Jake is Dad's race week and drag week co-pilot, and Jake also builds our transmission. So after race week a couple weeks ago, well, a month or two ago out now at this point, whatever, Jake stayed a couple extra days and we pulled the transmission out of Badmaro, and then we took the transmission, the 4L80 that was originally in Badmaro, the stock 4L80, we took it out from the lower shop and they both went home with Jake. So Jake's been ordering parts because we're going to freshen up the 4L80, my Reid case 4L80 that was in Badmaro most recently, and we're going to add a dump valve to it, and he's got some kind of trick up his sleeve with that. So I'm coming down to help with the freshen up and kind of watch, and then we're going to take some videos, and I don't know, it's going to be a good time. But I am about an hour out from the shop right now, a little less, so I'll get there around 9 o'clock, and Jake said they should still be there, so I'm going to head there and see what they have going on, and then I guess we'll get ready for to dive into it tomorrow for full. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I'm just going to stop by and see what's going on. So that's the plan. I'm ready to get it back together and then get it back home so that way we can put it back in Badmaro. Okay, we just got to Jake's and I have my stand. They've got my transmission up here ready to go. So I can say for a fact that I have never done this by myself, so I know I'm not going to be today either, but definitely gonna do more of it on my own. So I've always been helped with it and been assisted with it and had my hands in it, but never by myself. So that's what we're gonna try today, see how much I can get done by myself, and then go from there. So I know I'm only gonna ask him like 55 million questions, but
that's fine. We'll answer them. We'll ask you about something.
I'm gonna learn something today. So getting ready to get the bell housing off and then get the tail house off and then go from there. Okay, so I walked away for like just a few minutes and then I came back and a lot had happened. But anyways, been standing here. So Jake's been taking out super heavy duty snap rings. Look at that. That's a hard sucker to get out. Overdrive clutches. Jake, happy with them? Yeah?
Yep, good.
Okay. So then we're gonna pull pump apart, see if we have pump wear, right?
Yep.
Okay.
See what the pump looks like.
Okay, so we got it all torn apart. Jake came and like did more in like 5 minutes, and I think tonight did in like 2 hours. But anyway, so got everything laid out here. On race week this year, we did see towards the end of the week, I started noticing my transmission pressure was dropping, and I get paranoid about everything, but it still made it through the week. On the last day though, we're like, needs to go to Jake's.
Yeah, it's got 2 hard years on it, so we figured it was due for a freshening. Everything looks pretty good. The first clutches we pulled out were the overdrive clutches, and they look pretty good. The forward clutches still look brand new, so everything's really working good there. Our direct clutches were pretty burnt. Seeing some definite heat on those, which we think is because of the pump.
So you can see right here, you can see the step. There was a little bit of pump wear, so thinking that's what caused a little bit of heat spotting on them.
The second gear intermediate clutches still look perfect. So I think the third clutches saw a little bit of wear from the pump wear. Her car makes a lot of steam at the top end of the track. So the third gear clutches were probably slipping a little at 1800 horsepower. 210 gear set that Dennis installed a while back. It all still looks perfect. It's high-end, good expensive gear set, so we expect it to live well. So nothing more or nothing different than what Jake expected to see. So pretty much what we expected.
We've had what, I don't know how long this clutch has everything been in there, a couple years now.
They've been there for 2 years, so almost exactly 2 years.
Yeah.
So
good to go.
That's two drag weeks, 1 race week, and a whole lot of
beating on it on the street trying to get it to spool.
So a whole lot of tuning time.
So it's lived long. So.
That's not bad at that kind of power level as heavy as your car is.
Yep. So get it cleaned up and then start making some improvements that we'll talk a little bit more about later, and then get it back together.
Get it back together. Good.
Okay, just got done eating lunch. So now we got all the pieces in here. I'm gonna clean all that up, let it air dry for a little bit. The case is cleaning in there, so get that looking good as new. Clean up my disaster I've got going on here. Let it air dry, and then we'll start going forward with putting it back together. But we got quite a few upgrades to make, so we'll have some pauses and everything as we go through that and get the new stuff sorted out. So that's the plan for now. Okay, we have everything all cleaned up. I've got most of it dried off, so we're getting ready to start stacking it back together so we can get ready to drop it back in. So. So the main thing I want to focus on while I'm here, at least working on the Reid case 4L80, is focusing on like the upgrades we're going to make this time compared to when we built it 2 years ago. So we've got 2 years on it, 4 drag weeks, other test sessions, Woodward, whatever, 6,000 miles. So Jake's come up with stuff since then, and we've also figured out stuff, that light is terrible, stuff along the way. So that's what we're going to focus on now. I'm going to show you the first upgrade we're making today. So this is the 3rd gear direct drum. This is the piston that was originally in it. It's late model 4L80.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, an early model 4L80.
Early model 4L80.
The late model 4L80 uses a bonded piston, which actually works real well, but it still only has a single support and uses the cage spring assembly like that when you put it together.
So now we're switching to a Turbo 400 piston. So it's got the individual spring pockets, and then it's got the double support here.
It's got the double support. We're going to machine this one down just a little more. We have 6 clutches in there, which is about what we want for our power level. So we're checking our clutch pack clearance. We're going to be able to use all of the thick 90,000 direct steels and the 6 frictions with this drum and piston and set our clearance where we want to without doing anything fancy or using any thin steels.
So we get the best of all the worlds. So gonna go over now and then mill 30 thousandths off, and then we can get that put back together. So upgrade 1 for this time.
Another upgrade we're doing is we're going to a billet overdrive carrier, which wasn't as commonly available at that time when this was originally built. Now we have them, keep them in stock. The top plate of it is made out of, I believe, 4140 or 4340. It's machined where it fits onto what they milled off of it, and it has the splines are made out of the billet area. So this one, the splines were a little beat up from all the launches and power.
So yeah, so when we took the shaft out of this, it was a little bit stuck. So that's when Jake realized and was like, we should upgrade that. So, and then here, there wasn't any issues. That was just preference,
yeah,
right?
Living well. I just prefer to use this style piston. We should have last time. I'm not really sure why we didn't. We may have just been out, you know. We
were also in a hurry.
Out of an old 400 core. Yeah, we were in a hurry. So, yeah, the old 4L80 style with the cage spring, it worked well. There was no problem with that. I just prefer this. We have heavy springs on here. It took pretty much my full body weight to compress these, to take the snap ring off, take it apart. But we're going to put up the heavy duty springs we use here on that and put a drum back together. So it should be ready to go.
The plan.
So I'm going to come in, push off. 0. Come back. See, they cut about 10 thou at a time.
Checking the clearance to make sure, and the rule of thumb that I am learning is that you want about 10 thousandths for every friction. So since we have 6 frictions, we wanted about 60 thousandths, and turns out a penny is 55 thousandths. So Jake showed me this trick.
Penny works out to be about 55-ish. They vary a little, depending on how worn out they are. But, you know, that one's about 58.
So put a penny on each side, and then
we put the first plate in, and we were able to put the snap ring in, and the clutches didn't have any clearance at that point, but so we know we're at about 58 thousandths.
So all good. Now we're gonna stack them and alternate them like they should, and then put it together, and then this set will be done. Okay, there are other things to be done, but we're gonna go ahead and start stacking everything back in the case and cleaning off the table. So starting to stack back together. Okay, upgrade number 3 for the day. So it's getting technical over here. Jake is tracing or retracing. He's already done this. Retracing and seeing.
We're gonna make a mod to this thing to make it true dual feed on the D1 brake. This is actually a trans brake we built on the parking lot on Drag Week 2018. So we're gonna do a couple updates to the valve body because it was just a core we got from a friend of mine that brought it. And so we're going to make sure the AFL valve bore is reamed and has a new AFL valve. And we're going to make some modifications to the plate and valve body so that it has some more recent updates that we can do to these things.
Sounds like a plan. Day 2 of transmission rebuild. So yesterday we got a lot done on my Reid case 4L80. So my stock one is still sitting in the corner. We'll have to do that later, but got a lot done. We finished up the night, like I showed, studying, just going back over the valve body. Jake has a couple ideas that he's gonna do today to make it a little bit faster, a little bit better. So gotta do that today, then we gotta do the pump, and then we gotta do the relief valve and then the dump valve. So there's actually quite a bit to do today, but we should get it done, and then I don't know, I may end up staying one more day to do the other transmission, or he may end up finishing it and bringing it back. So that's to be determined. Okay, so the last clip was Jake resurfacing the pump, or surfacing the pump, not resurfacing. So this is a new pump. Since mine had a little bit of wear, he said it'd still be good, which that's it right here. So since he said it still had a little bit of wear, it'd be good for another build, so he's gonna keep that. But then this, we just put a new one in mine. So I don't know what he's doing right now. I actually don't know where he's at. But anyway, so working on the pump. Gonna put the wear plate in, button it back up. So I don't know what happened to him. Yes, I do. I totally forgot. He's doing the valve body right now. So, side note, stepping from pump to valve body. Doing some fancy magic tricks.
Oh yeah.
So one of the biggest upgrades that we're gonna make that's gonna be really beneficial is this wear plate that Jake has started using since we originally built my transmission a couple years ago. So, Jake, let's hear it.
It's a hardened steel wear plate. So some of the issues we see with wear on these pumps, we've kind of learned the metallurgy is probably not what we're used to on the old turbo plungers and power glides. So the wear plate prevents any wear on the pump. And we've also, on Alex's deal, we've actually had this in there for a couple of years. We have an adjustable pressure regulator. So once we get it in a case, we can put this in there, and it's adjustable fairly easily without changing springs. So we're about to put her pump together and get it in the transmission and get close to finishing up on this thing.
Sweet. So then this is going to be available from you.
I'm in almost every build now. So.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Okay, I just got the second transmission apart. So this is my stock 4L80 that was in the car for, shoot, 3 or 4 years, 5 years. Yeah, so pretty much stock 4L80, just had a couple minor upgrades. So it lived really well. It's going to be my backup transmission, and it'll go in another project that we're working on later. So Jake's gonna go through this and freshen this up. make it like a stage 5 is what he would call it. So upgrades along the way, so that should live plenty fine for the project we're going to be doing. And then over here, my Reid case 4L80, so my big bad transmission is, we've been working on valve body today, and then gonna do that, and then there's gonna be a couple other upgrades that I will show, and then this one's pretty much done. So been really successful. I have learned so much, it's insane. My head hurts trying to keep up, but yeah, so this one will be ready to go back together pretty soon as well, and it won't take as long because it's not nearly as complicated, not got nearly as many trick pieces to it that they want to change up. So that's where we're at now, but we're calling it a stopping point for today. Okay guys, change of pace. I'm not at the shop. Yes, I'm sitting in my car and I'm not at Jake's. So basically, I gotta explain what happened here. So I went to Jake's. I kind of had allotted like 3 days because we thought we could get both transmissions done in that amount of time, which would be totally doable under normal circumstances. But I went down and we ended up taking a lot longer than expected because I ask a lot of questions, and I think I probably cut their production in half or productivity in half, because I was like, why is it like this, and how do we do that, and why are we doing that instead of this, and you know, pretty much every single thing we did I asked a question about. So anyways, I learned a lot, and thank you to Jake for being so patient and teaching me. So that slowed our progress down. So I ended up having to leave and go back to the shop because there was a lot going on. Dad had some projects I needed to help with. He needed some help with the Nova, and then I was working on the coffin project, so just a lot happening. So I headed back and Jake finished it up. It was almost done, and then him and his son brought it up like a week later, and we got it installed in the car. So anyways, there was 2 upgrades that happened after I left, and I'm actually going to be doing a video later showing the actual installation of the transmission and showing those upgrades themselves. So you will still see them, but I'm going to highlight them right now. So the first, which was one of our biggest goals when this all started, was to add dump valves to the transmission. So we actually did an internal and an external, which you can't usually do that on a 4L80 because they have lockup converters usually, but I do have a non-lockup, so it did work. So the external is what you're used to, and then the internal we did to amplify the external. And I can say that we have tested it and they work well. So I can't wait to show that video. So that was really awesome. And then the second upgrade he did was added a relief valve, a pressure relief valve at the shop. So we actually ended up, I guess, technically adding it when it got to our shop, but Jake tested it and everything and set the pressure at his shop on the dyno. So just keeping the converter charge pressure at below 80 pounds. So that was the 2 upgrades that happened after I left. But anyways, like I said, we've got it already installed in the car, and I'll do a video showing the actual plumbing and wiring and the Medusa of a transmission that it has become, and show that and show the actual setup of the dump valves in the Holly. So be on the lookout for that. But anyways, I'm gonna give a shout out to Jake and his team in Sanger for letting me come down and be a part of it and teaching me and being so welcoming, and just it was a really good time. So hopefully I'll be back to do a couple more videos and hang out with them again. So I'm going to put their info down below so that way you can check out his website and check out his social. He posts quite a bit of helpful tips, hopefully that you guys might find helpful on his actual social media. So anyways, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed getting to do this, and I appreciate you guys watching me take on this adventure. So that's it for now, and as always, be happy, go fast, and stay pretty. I will see you guys next time.